Welcome to A Seat at the Table. My name is Zanele Kumalo and I'm the editor of W24. Today, we're going to be talking about women empowerment. We have Kim Naidu. Then we have Danae Wadibe. And then we have Tammy Minton. Okay, well, cheers. Love it. Okay, cheers. And I'd just love to get some thoughts from you about what it's like to be a woman in 2019.
I think that, female empowerment since the beginning of 2017 has been a hot topic on everybody's hearts and minds. And with movements like Me Too, Time's Up, and Closer to Home, it's got everybody actually in on the conversation.
Men and women, do you think?
Men and women,
Driven by women, though.
Driven by women. But with the encouragement of getting more men on board, because female empowerment doesn't have to be the disempowerment of men.
Yes.
In fact, we need guys to be there
and support us too, right?
Supporting us, right? And being like, why are there so few females around us? What are we doing about gender equality in our spaces? And so I think
it won't work without men.
No.
The whole idea of, more inclusivity amongst the workplace, and not just the workplace, in government, in all spheres of life. If the guys don't buy into it, if they don't see the value of having the woman sitting at the boardroom table, then they're never going to, sort of make room for you. Because they're always going to feel like if there's a woman, it means there's one less man. So you've got to kind of get the men, and that's why having male champions in business is vital to the success of that.
You want people to feel equal. We're not radical feminists where we're saying men are not equal, we just want equality, and I think that's the most important thing.
I think that's huge. I think saying that, it's not about wanting to be better than men or wanting to take over. It's just about wanting to have an equal place. And for a lot of women, it's a fine line that they walk. And so, as a feminist, it's really just about saying, how do I help my fellow females in business and work, in my home environment to do better? Because ultimately, we need to support one another.
Yeah, definitely.
And being that helping hand and having more women and, creating that platform in terms of, if I am at the top, how do I get others to join me here? What piece of information do I have to impart to empower the next woman to know that she too has every right to be where I'm at?
I think that for me, when we speak about how women should get their voices heard, I think one of the biggest things is standing together as a collective and creating a collective consciousness of women and creating a space whereby they can actually have their voices heard. Because not everyone knows how to do it, right? But if we're living in a digital age right now where everyone has access to make a change daily. You have people sitting on their phones for maybe 60-70% of their day. And if you're posting someone that changes one person's mind, one female's mind, one man's mind, then you're making a difference. So I think you can start on a small scale and then create this collective consciousness.
I also think that within businesses, that idea of inclusivity has to be driven from a corporate perspective. You talk about how do we make that change happen, and it's great to talk about it, and there are so many of these incredible groups that are started, and in South Africa itself, and we should be collaborating. We should all actually be working together. But the conversation has to start at the boardroom table. So it's very important that businesses understand that in order to make sure that you're talking to your female consumers, that you have women at the table so that you get their point of view.
And I think when correctly, you innovate for women in a way that actually is talking to them.
Exactly.
I just would love to get some last thoughts from you about one thing that you're hoping for or looking forward to this year in terms of women empowerment. This being the year of the woman, or any plans that you want to put into action as we round off.
I would like to see more women in government. I feel really strongly about the fact that besides the fact that corporations and their structure needs to change, we need to see more women in government. And Africa as a continent actually has the highest number of females in the political sphere out of every other continent, interestingly enough. But there needs to be more women that are driving that process because laws need to change, rules need to change. And just like you've got companies that are going to be filtering from the top and making changes from their managerial structure, the country needs to have major changes made. And I believe with a woman at the helm, or certainly driving it up there, I believe that 2019 has got massive possibilities for South Africa and for women.
To Tammy's point, I mean, if government is doing the broader job, the private sector can do what it's doing, you know, with media and society still pushing this agenda and continuing this conversation, because it needs to be something that people are talking about to make us hyper aware of instances where there is not enough representation, there is discrimination happening, you know, so just monitor it that way.
More representation, for sure. It will happen.
It will.
I think,
Oh no, it's happening already.
On one last note, I think for me and my level, I think what I would like to see of is more women and girls just being more authentic and true to themselves, and just kind of accepting that that is the kind of energy that's going to actually elevate society, and that's going to make the biggest difference. Because once you start accepting who you are and not having to look and be someone else or be like a man and think like a man, you start honing in on who you are 100%, and that for me can shift dynamics.
Yeah, to be authentic.
To be authentic, and when you're authentic, you really shift dynamics and you can literally change the world.
Yeah, I love that.
That is very cool.
Oh, that's so positive. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Zanetta.
It was a great discussion.
Thanks.
Thank you.